If you want to see some great examples of how not to drive, check out Ashley Neal's channel here on YouTube and his account on TikTok, for those of you that are on TikTok. Of course, I'm not talking about Ashley's driving. I'm talking about clips that his viewers have sent him and he's made some commentary on. So I'm going to borrow them and give you some legal commentary as it arises. I've downloaded 3 and I'm going to react to them virtually instantly. I've seen them very briefly, but not in full. Let's take a look.
School buses are there to keep the kids safe, right?
Yeah. Well, that's better than it being like a cruise. What the f are you doing?
My viewer even held back and gave them space to turn.
Now, this looks to me very similar to a clip that I commented on a little while ago. And I had a whole heap of comments, this I think was over on TikTok, telling me that the driver was okay and that they had to make that turn because how else would they get round the corner? But really, legally speaking, the driver of any vehicle like this, I think in that case it was a big long lorry, in this case it's a bus. In any case like this, there is a hierarchy on the road. And the bus shouldn't be making the turn if they can't do so without almost running over a crowd of children. Let's just wind it back again and have a look. So I think he even mounted the curb. Yeah, he mounts the curb as well. Let's go back. So you can see the bus turning here. It's obviously, it's not that tight a turn. It's a fairly tight turn, but I've seen long vehicles and probably longer vehicles than this make turns as tight or tighter than this. And if you look, he just goes over the curb here and he's heading straight for these children. I think and I hope that they narrowly miss getting squashed by the bus. But that is one clear example. Let's take a look at another one. This one, we're in a tunnel. Mind me while I mute the microphone. Let's take a look.
What's worse here, the undertaking or the terrible lane discipline? Let me know in the comments.
It's not over yet, by the look of it. There we go. Right, so I'll stop it there. You can watch the full one if you like. I'll link them in the description below. So clearly, this is an example of moving to the left to overtake, otherwise known as undertaking, which the highway code doesn't permit. Now, again, whenever I do a video about not moving to the left to overtake, lots of people jump up in the comments and say it's not illegal to overtake on the left. Well, no, that's not what I'm saying. What the highway code provides is that you should not move to the left in order to overtake, because that's undertaking. This vehicle has clearly, let me just mute the volume. This vehicle has clearly moved to the left lane of this van that's in front in order to overtake it. That is what the highway code prohibits, and that's what you shouldn't be doing. But then it's worse. Obviously, he moves back in front afterwards. So this is quite aggressive driving and frankly deserves points on his license. There is no defense to this kind of driving. So no need for the comment warriors to come saying that's all perfectly fine, nothing happened. It's not allowed and it shouldn't happen. Let's move to another one.
Some more impatience while overtaking a cyclist. I'm not talking about the lorry driver. Watch the white four-wheel drive 3 cars further back.
Now, you can see the problem here, can't you? Not only did this white vehicle choose to overtake here, but in doing so, put the red vehicle in huge danger, because on the one hand, the red vehicle should also have been looking out for any vehicles overtaking before they moved out, so they're not entirely faultless either. But the white vehicle has clearly decided not just to overtake the red vehicle, but if you can see, all of this cyclist and this other vehicle at the same time. So huge impatience, not just overtaking the cyclist, but overtaking the red vehicle as well. Now, I know we'll get some people in the comments to say that it's all the cyclist's fault that the white vehicle decided to overtake the red vehicle. and overtake the cyclist and put the red vehicle and the cyclist in danger and everyone else in danger because there was nearly a massive collision between the two of them, which would have doubtless caused a collision from all the vehicles that you can see in the very rear of this picture here. Obviously, you can hear by the sound of my voice that I don't agree that it's the cyclist's fault. Now, I know that many people get frustrated with cyclists, and cyclists slow down the roads, and drivers get frustrated of having to overtake cyclists, and this ongoing debate with whether cyclists should be far over to the left and out of vehicles' way and all the rest of it. But these are great examples of how these collisions happen, and they are easily preventable with a little patience if one vehicle at a time takes their time to overtake the cyclist and doesn't put other road users in danger. Again, you can see that, okay, there's a broken white line astride the solid white line, so there is caution to be had when breaking the lane barriers here, but that just goes to emphasize that this is a dangerous road and that the white vehicle should have exercised even more caution because of the lane markings, but didn't. And so there is going to be no defense here for the white vehicle. If there were a collision and someone's injured, the white vehicle is going to be to blame. Of course, the red vehicle is not entirely blameless because you can see here that they did try to move out and should really have been aware. But if we do this really slowly, you can see that almost at the same time, not quite, there was a slight delay, but almost the same time, the red vehicle was going to overtake as well, planning fairly far in advance of overtaking the cyclist, but then had to abort because the white vehicle astride the far side lane markings to overtake. Very poor driving indeed. Please don't drive like that. If you end up in court, there's going to be very little to come to your defense as to why you drove like that. But if you want more clips like that, do subscribe here. Check out Ashley's channel as well. I thank him for those clips. And in the meantime, I'll see you next time.